Alright. So, please don't start this. Our unit learning target, which is what we need to be able to do at the end of Unit 2, is I can solve any equation for a given variable. So that is overall. Now, we have these things called depths of knowledge. Have we talked about that before in here?
No, ma'am.
The DOK? Alright, they are words that tell us what level we should be accomplishing by the end of the lesson. They are on the closet side over there or on the back. It's the circle. Excuse me. Level 1 is recall. So, like, I can solve an equation. You should be able to remember how to do that, right? You did it last year. Level 2 is a skill or concept that you're developing. Level 3 is strategic thinking, and level 4 is extended thinking. So by the end of this year, I want you to at least be at level 3. Some of us may be able to extend our thinking. Maybe. But I at least want us to be able to think strategically and think for ourselves. So this, I can solve any equation for a given variable, is level 2-ish. It's a skill or concept that we are learning. What we're going crazy. What we're doing today is going to be between a level 2 and a level 3. Is everybody ready? Oh, thank you so much. So, we need to open to one step. It does not matter. It does not affect you writing. Let's be quiet and write. Avery. Does it? Okay, so at the top of one step, I want us to write our learning target for today. I want us to write the date. It is the 28th, because that will help you when we do our notebook test next week. It's like a notebook scavenger hunt. And today's learning target says, I can differentiate I want you to be able to spell. We are in high school. You have to be able to spell. Does everybody understand? Are you having a fit?
No, I
Between 1 and 2 step equations, then solve. What does the word differentiate mean? Jack? Yeah, awesome. Take a point. So, when we're using our depth of knowledge, we decide what it is based on the word. So, I can differentiate. Differentiate is a big word, right? Do you think that's level 2, 1, or 3? 3. It's level 2-ish, 3-ish. But it means that you can strategically think and tell me what the difference between one step. Yes, strategically. Stop, don't get me confused. So I want you to be able to tell me the difference between a 1-step and a 2-step equation. Now, before we begin, can anybody raise their hand, not scream at me, and tell me what the difference between a 1-step and a 2-step equation is?
I can think. A 1-step, you only do 1 step. And a 2-step, you do 2 steps.
Look at you go. Take a point. That's literally the difference I want you to be able to tell me. Now, how do you know when you use 1 step and when you use 2 steps? Jarrett?
This one you only have to like, let's say...
Remix? Breathe?
Okay, let's say, like, the first one, you don't have to subtract. But there can be no way to subtract and multiply.
Look at you go. Take a point. All
Yes.
right, now let's look at number 1. Are we ready?
Yes.
Somebody at Slytherin, can you tell me what we do for number 1?
Okay.
This is Slytherin. This is Slytherin, y'all. This is the Slytherin table. And then this is the Gryffindor table. That's the Hufflepuff table. Ravenclaw, Beauxbatons, Durmstrang.
Harry Potter.
We've already talked about this. Like, holy cow. All right. Slytherin. Somebody is Slytherin. Save the day and tell me what to do. I don't care who it is. Somebody tell me. Do we agree or disagree? Take a point. No. Slytherin takes a point. No. Now, can you guys tell me, Slytherin, why we subtracted and we didn't add? Okay, y'all gotta quit talking while they're answering me.
Like, you have to do the opposite sequence.
So it takes away the fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
You were telling me right. I just don't need you to start muttering off at the end because then I can't hear you.
I didn't know how to
Okay. All right, what's 3 minus 9?
Negative.
And boom, we're done. How many steps did that take? Magic. Move on to number 2. Hufflepuff. Can you tell me how to solve this, Hufflepuff? Somebody Hufflepuff. Okay, why? Fantastic. Take a point, Hufflepuff. And what's 11 plus 2?
13.
Look at us go. I would like to
Shut the classroom door. Okay. Other people don't enjoy our loud learning.
I enjoy that.
Fourth period, well, my fourth period was doing great because they were being very loud answering.
Hey guys, I'm going to be showing you how to do some questions.
Today we're learning about what's
Hey, my name's Aldo.
Okay. All right. Number. Thank you. Take a point. All right.
It is Gryffindor.
Okay, Durmstrang. Tell me how to do this.
Okay, so since negative 4 is multiplied by z,
Yes?
you have to divide both sides.
By negative 4.
Awesome. Take a point, Durmstrang. Avery, what is wrong with you? Get it together. All right. Now, I would like everyone to please put a line through your Z if you don't already do that, because otherwise it looks like a 2. So please go ahead and practice this. Yes. Can you just do what I tell you to? Thanks, love you so much. Just do this. Just put a line. And Stephen, you can also make your 2's curly. That would be great. But can you put a line through this?
Okay.
Thank you. Love you so much. All right. What is 48?
Negative 12.
A little tree like this.
We just had this conversation.
Is that what Carly meant?
Do you need to lose a point? Get it together. It is negative 12. Why is it negative? Okay. We're all saying stuff at once, and I can't really understand what you're saying. Dominique?
Because a negative divided by positive.
Yes.
Take a point.
Yes. All right, number 4. Look at number 4. What is the difference between number 4 and number 3?
They're not together.
One's dividing and
I mean,
one's
wait,
multiplying.
Yes, take a point. This one is a fraction, and that's multiply. That's help me with my words. Thank you. All right. So we get rid of a fraction by.
Multiplying.
And are we going to multiply by positive 3 or negative 3? Negative 3. Take a point if you said negative 3. And what's 9 times negative 3?
Negative 27.
Boom, we're done with those. Now, let's look at number 5. Is it a fraction?
Yes.
And fractions are division. And they are friends, not food. And what's the opposite of division? Now, remember, we have to do this in one step, because this is on the one-step tab, right?
Correct.
So we can't multiply then divide. What can we do?
We can always divide.
Reciprocal. Take a point. Woo!
Did you say reciprocal?
All right. So if you get if you get 5 points and you need more, you write plus 6, plus 7, plus 8, plus 9. You keep going. Okay?
Wait. So we got.
Is this something that you really need to ask, or should you ask your team so that you don't lose a point for asking something silly?
First thing is,
We don't use that word.
either.
What is the question?
So when you add a point, do you give yourself 2 points or like?
You circle the next one up.
And then you should make them.
That was a silly question because we've been talking about that.
Okay.
But that's okay. No judgment. All God's children.
I'm so ready. I'm sorry. I'm behind. I'm sorry.
I understand, but it sounds awful, and I need you to not. Thanks. All right, now we multiply by the reciprocal. Can anybody tell me? Raise their hand, because we did this one last week, and we went over it like 5 times to make sure we got it. Can y'all tell me what we do with these two numbers? The 10 and the 6/5. Logan?
You put a 1 under the 10.
Okay, and then what do I do?
Then you
Nope, I'm asking him.
multiply butterfly.
Cross.
No.
Oh, I think I know.
Cross, divide. Cross, divide. So, yes, we talked about this last week. You can do it 2 ways, okay? You can multiply straight across, then divide, or you can cross divide. I prefer to cross divide, so that's why I teach it to you over and over and over and over. Now, cross multiplying, Logan, is when we have an equal sign in between those, so don't confuse the two things, okay? That's why I don't like to use multiplication, because then you confuse it with cross multiplication, so I just divide. Now, 5 goes into 10 how many times? And 2 times 6 is?
12.
Can I take a point?
I'm trying to think.
Yes, what's your
How
question?
are you gonna know when a cross divide?
When you multiply a number by a fraction.
Oh.
Okay, my bad.
That's okay. That's okay. So you only cross multiply when you have an equal sign in between them. That's the only time. You only cross multiply when you have an equal sign in between them. That is the only time. Is there an equal sign in between these two numbers? No. So we know that 5 goes into 10. How many times does 5 go into 10? 2 times. And then you have 2 times 6, which is? That's it. I did 5 into 10. That's across from each other, so I divided those. Then you multiply. You could also do 10 times 6 and get 60. 60 divided by 5 is 12.
Oh.
Yes. I would like you guys to talk about it in your group first. Number 6. And we're running out of time, and we need to be able to do, not have to do homework. Yes. Because all whole numbers hang out with a 1. You didn't have to do it, no. On number 6, I'm not going to do it. If you think you're ready after talking to your group, maybe. I'm pausing. Crazy person.
I got the answer. It didn't help us.
I know the answer.
Listen. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Wait. Did you get negative? Okay. Nope. Nope. Hey, did you cross divide? Those cancel, those cancel. Negative 3 goes into 9 how many times?
3.
And negative 3 times 4 is?
Negative. Yeah.
You got it right. Give your team a point. Hey, y'all should talk less and work on this problem more. Alright, we're moving on to 2-step. Are we ready? Does anybody have any questions? Now, what is the difference between 1-step and 2-step? Now, How, you do an extra step, right? You have a second step, but how do you know when there's going to be a second step? Just by looking at it. Sam? Kind of. Look at these. Look at these on the board. Alright, so everybody look up here. What is the difference between number 1 on the 1 step and number 1 on the 2 step? Deja? What is this number in front of the y called? No. Coefficient. Take a point. This is a coefficient. Now, please listen carefully. If there is a coefficient in front of the variable and a constant, it is 2 steps. Does everybody understand? 2 steps. So we're doing 1 and 2 and 5 and 7. Everything else is your homework. Do you understand? 1 and 2, 5 and 7, everything else is your homework. We need to, also on 1 step, but we need to pay attention so that we can get this done, and if we do this together, we don't have homework. So if we be quiet and pay attention, we can do this. Now, number 1, we need to move, you have a question?
You said everything else is on the entire package?
No, just on 1 and 2 step.
Can I help you with
Yes.
number 1?
Yes, Deja, tell me what to do first.
Okay, so you should add 4
Okay? On both sides, right?
on both sides.
Now, why do we not combine this negative 4 and the 4y? They're not like terms, right? Awesome. Okay. So we bring down the 4y.
Then you divide by 4.
Wait, Tater Tot.
I'm doing it.
What's 16 plus 4?
1.
Alright, Belle, can you, Dave should take a point, babe. Belle, can you tell me what to do from here? You divide by what? Ma'am? Awesome, take a point. Alright, and Mark, tell me what 20 divided by 4 is. And that's it. That's all we do for 2 step. Yes, Sam? Oh, okay. Can you hang on just a second? Okay. Alright, now, the learning target said, I can differentiate between 1 and 2 step equations. What is the difference between a 1 and a 2 step equation? It has a coefficient. Take a point. No, she said it first. Alright, Sam, tell me what to do for number 2.
You add 7. Yeah.
Alright, now, why did I add 7 and not add the 1?
Because it would be necessary on the other side. There's a
Yes, to all of you. Yes.
that means point.
Alright, no. What's negative 1 plus 7?
6.
And should we put a line through our z?
Yes.
Now.
Alright, now this is a fraction. How do we get rid of fractions? Multiply, my children. Alright, and what is 3 times 6? And boom, we're done.
18 equals Z.
Isn't that lovely?
That's my dad. This is nickname.
Now, number 2 is a fraction, and number 5 is also a fraction. But what is the difference between number 2 and number 5?
Oh, we have to know a thing about the fraction. You have to do something else before you.
You divide instead of subtract the fraction. The fraction, put them together.
Kind of yes to all of you.
Take the away.
But what I really wanted you to say is that number 2 had a fraction in it and then a constant, and number 5 is a fraction. Right? Do you see how this whole thing is a fraction? So on number 2, we would add 7 first, but on number 5, what would we have to do first?
Divide. Multiply.
Multiply. Yes, take a point. We have to multiply by 8. Tyler, can you tell me what 14 times 8 is? No judgment if you have to use a calculator. Look at you go. Take a point. And Tyler, can you also tell me what to do from here? Tyler,
Add 13.
look at you go. Both sides or one side? Take another point.
125.
Take another.
Take a point. Take a point. I got the answer right.
It's not how things work. Take a point.
Yeah.
Wait, but we don't have any more points.
Oh.
So you don't get a point because we've already explained what to do in that situation.
No.
Avery? Yeah, 125. Alright, now, number 7 is different than what we've done, correct? What should we do first? That's not what I said, guys. I didn't say take a point. I have to give the points, not y'all give yourself points. Stop with that weirdness, or you're going to lose a point. What is 8y plus 3y? And what do we do from here? So what does y equal? Dun, 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 dun. Now, this is how you can earn more points. Your homework is 3, 4, 6, 8, and 7, 8, 9, 10. But I'm going to assign some of the I'm going to tell what table to come up and do it, and if your table can put it on the board before the bell rings, you get another point. So, y'all have 7 on one step, 8 on one step, 9 on one step, 10 on one step, 3 on 2 step, 4 on 2 step. Yeah, if you're ready, put it up here. Talk to your group, make sure it's right.
Hello guys. Today,
Write it on my paper.
Huh?
Write it on my paper.
which color do you want me to use?
Come on, baby.
Oh yeah. 12. That's my answer.
You're next. You're next. You were in line first. Hey, she's
I have no idea. Also, I need y'all to calm down around the technology. Calm down around the technology.
What time is it?
Wait, you've got 4 minutes.
That shit we did just now, bro. What? You should already know it, right?
So what's going to be homework?
Whatever you put in. 1 and 2 steps. Bye, have a great day.
Last period, we always watch the movies because you can't do anything until 6 hours. So you have to learn.
Alright, can I pause the video?
Yes.
You may.
We were